No. I refuse. I have done a lot of stupid things for a lot of reviews and for videos, live streams, and I make enough of an idiot out of myself on a daily basis. I do not need to do this. I don't care that I'm reviewing the new Hatsune Miku Project Diva X game for the PlayStation 4. I don't care. I refuse. Fine. I will do this, but let it be known, I am doing this 100% against my will. Just let that be known. Okay, let's do this. Let's do it. Hatsune Miku Project Diva X is the latest in the Vocaloid line of rhythm-based games. This is the first Hatsune Miku game now on the PlayStation 4 and continues the lineage of the previous Project Diva games released on portable systems as well as PlayStation 3. In Project Diva X, you're controlling Hatsune Miku and her Vocaloid friends. There's a total of 6 Vocaloids that are represented in the game. If you're unfamiliar with Vocaloids, I don't want to get into the whole big detail on it, but basically think of it as a computer program that simulates singing and voice and allows them to make music and songs based on this. Project Diva X has 30 songs for you to master with multiple different difficulties, a story mode that will allow you to unlock the songs as you're playing through the story, and then of course the free play mode where you'll be able to select any song that you've already unlocked as well as any difficulty. If you're going to want to play on hard and extreme, you're going to have to unlock the songs first and then go into free play to play them, or once you complete the game and have completed every song, you will then be able to play hard and extreme even in the story mode. Though I know this is going to be a turnoff for some veterans of the series. I know it will also be a turnoff for some veterans because there is less songs in the game, only featuring 30, whereas some other Hatsune Miku games had upwards of 40 or more tracks for you to play through. There is a couple of download content songs, as well as most of the songs included in the game have not been in a previous Hatsune Miku game, and 6 of the songs are a medley with a bunch of songs kind of combined for one long dance track. While there is an emphasis on the game's story mode, it honestly isn't anything special. There's no full voice acting for the Vocaloids or anything like that. There's a couple of expressions that you'll hear and a little bit of dialogue from each of them as they're going through, but most of the stories is told through text at the bottom of the screen, and honestly, the Vocaloids themselves don't have a ton of expression, at least in the story mode. While they're dancing on stage and performing the songs, it's a bit different, as they have a lot of choreography that goes along with the in-game models, but during the story mode aspects, they're kind of just dull and there. Well, I won't spoil too much about the story, as there really isn't too much to spoil here. It's nothing special, trust me. You get to start off by picking a Vocaloid that you want to play as and pick which costume and dress them all up before going into each and every song. So you can play as one Vocaloid for one song and play as another one for another. The good thing is, even though the songs themselves are performed by certain Vocaloids, you can pick anyone going into it. So it may be weird to pick one of the male Vocaloid songs and playing as the female Vocaloid, as they will kind of do their mouth movements to the song itself, but you're allowed to do that. So if you like one over the others, you can play as that one throughout the course of the entire game's storyline. The game story itself is basically broken up into clouds, or set list, and each of the clouds or set lists are different themed. You'll have a classic one for, I guess, would be classic Hatsune Miku songs, though I'm not really that familiar, so I'm not positive, as well as stuff like cool and elegant and quirky, and the songs themselves kind of go along with those motifs, but they basically just work as set lists. You'll play through the 5 songs, and once you're able to complete them, you'll unlock that set list particular medley. You'll then perform the medley, and once you complete it, you'll fill up the prism and then be able to go to the next cloud. While you're stuck starting off with the classic cloud and the classic songs to kind of get you into the game, as these are kind of the basic, more easy songs for you to conquer, you'll then be able to select from any of the other clouds. But once you pick one, you have to complete it before you'll be able to move on to the next cloud. So if you pick cool, but you want to switch off in between, you won't be able to do that. You'll have to complete all the songs in cool, including the medley, and then you'll be able to select quirky or elegant. The gameplay remains largely the same, though I know a few types of notes have been removed from previous iterations of Project Diva, but basically you have the face buttons like X, circle, square, and triangle for most notes, sometimes encompassing an arrow from the D-pad for each, like right with circle or down with X for certain notes. Some notes will have to be held, and other ones you can tap for a bigger bonus, as well as flicking the left joystick or hitting the touchpad in order to do the star special notes. Building up combos is the key to get a higher score and thus completing each of the songs. You have normal and easy to start off with, but after beating the game you do get the hard and extreme to also play through on the story mode. Though once you beat a song for the first time even on easy, you will unlock it in free play and be able to play on any difficulty and just see how high of a score, how well you can end up doing. Before you go into the song though, you get to set up not only which Vocaloid you're playing as, but their costume. A big part of the game is the whole costumes themselves. Each of the costumes is also broken up into categories, such as the cool and the elegant. Using a character that has an elegant costume will give them a bonus and be able to increase the voltage that they earn throughout the course of the song much easier. You get a percentage increase once you have a costume selected. In order to unlock these costumes, you not only have to perform well in the songs, there are times throughout the course of each song where you'll have to do a series of combos with the buttons and you'll build up a star meter. Then flicking it on the star itself on that final note will turn you into a change mode where your character will change costumes, usually related to whatever theme of the song you're currently on, and thus you'll also then unlock that costume to be used at any point later on in the game. There's like 300 plus costumes in the game, so there is a ton to unlock for each of the characters. So that's something that interests you, or you like collecting costume pieces and costumes themselves, there's a lot to do here. To break up the whole set list, there also will be sometimes festivals for you to perform at. During the festivals, you get to set up kind of what stage you want to perform on, as well as what songs you want to perform, setting up a set list of up to 3 songs, and then they will be played in succession. You won't have a break in between. It's just one long run, and your goal is to get a voltage meter filled up for the combined songs. There's one voltage meter for an entire set of the 3 songs during festival. Also during festival, each song will be performed by a different Vocaloid, so you can mix and match which ones you play as and change their costumes and have it set up, as each one will come on stage to perform their part of the festival medley. There's also a bit of fan service, dating sim-esque friendship building, as you get random items that you unlock throughout the course of playing through songs, stuff like posters and dolls and food items, and if you know the Vocaloids well enough, or they will sometimes tell you randomly throughout cutscenes in between songs, they'll get a little information on the Vocaloids, but if you're like a die-hard fan, you probably already know what their favorite foods and items are already, and can give them those specific items, and you'll grow a friendship meter with them. Thus, when you grow that and level it up, you'll get more bonuses for having more friendship with the Vocaloid that you're using if you decide to build it up, though it isn't necessary by any means to complete the game's main story. You can also do a little bit of decorating with the hub world itself. When you're on the main menu before going into a song, you can kind of change the background around the Vocaloid itself. Gifts given to Vocaloids will also then appear on the walls or around that particular room, and there's a good amount of set pieces here that you get. Not only ones themed around the Vocaloids, but stuff like a nightclub or a cat room you can also unlock. There's also a camera mode where you can pose the Vocaloids and move them all around, turn them inside out basically, and all kinds of stuff, and take random pictures that then can be saved if that's something that you would be interested in. From the technical side of things, everything ran smooth, no freezing or slowdown or crashing of any sort, which is of course great for a rhythm game, as you always have to really be concentrating. This was my first foray into the whole Project Diva and Hatsune Miku world, but it is a fun rhythm game. It's all the J-pop songs and stuff like that, so if you're not really into that kind of music, you're probably not going to enjoy most of the tracks in the game. For me though, I just like the whole rhythm-based gameplay and can get into it no matter what the music ends up being, so I had some really good fun throughout the course of playing it. Project Diva X is available for the PlayStation 4 for $49.99, and being someone who had never played a Hatsune Miku game before playing this one, I definitely had a lot of fun with it, though I know it's lacking as far as the amount of songs that are in the game, but there are some other stuff added to kind of supplement it, but it definitely can get a bit repetitive as you're trying to unlock the final stuff in the game, having to play a lot of the same songs over and over again, but I think it's definitely still enjoyable and fun to do. With everything said, I'm going to be giving the game a 7 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to burn this wig when this review is done.